Hi guys, welcome to Suitbeautyradio, a new beauty podcast that's committed to talking about more than just makeup. In this episode, we're coming to you recorded live from London. Pardon our abrupt end to this intro. As you will hear, we were asked to politely move from one room to another because the meeting room we were in got booked. So for those of you just tuning in, my name is Gabby Pasqua. I'm a makeup artist based here in LA, and you can find out more about me and Suit and this podcast in other links below. But I'm gonna just have you join in onto this interview with Simone VENNER, a nutritionist that's based in London, and I hope you enjoy the show. Okay, I'm gonna let it go. All right, today in front of me, I have Miss Simone VENNER, and yeah, I'm gonna actually let her introduce herself, passing it over.
Simone VENNER. It's great you pronounced it with a British accent, my last name, which is nice. And yeah, I'm founder of Miss Holistic, known as a registered holistic nutritionist, also yoga instructor and mindfulness teacher. And I got my certification from Canada. I moved over to BC, so that's where I studied, which shocks quite a lot of the British. Like, why don't you do it here? And I was like, well, I wanted to be away and study so I could indulge myself. Because, if you study a lot of the time where you live, then it's distractions of life and everything else. So.
Girl, I totally feel you.
Yeah.
I'm all the way over here.
Mm-hmm. To fully indulge, you have some distractions, but not as many as here. So I could dedicate myself completely to that. And then, I thought maybe I'd stay in Canada and more than, especially being on the West Coast, it's every corner is a yoga studio in Vancouver, which I'm sure all the way down to California, it's like very wellness orientated.
Very much
so. I was like, London needs me now more than ever. So I was like, I'm going to come home and do this at home. So I want to bring holistic health, and we are talking about it more so now in London. You can find vegan restaurants, you can find healthy restaurants. Even if you go to burger joints, they now promote their vegan burgers outside. It's readily available now. The one thing that concerns me, especially coming from a nutritionist background, is we've kind of fallen into the junk food vegan area very quickly, which
that's fun.
Yeah, it is fun, and it for the one-off, but it's more so now we're like, oh yeah, vegan junk food, great. So I now work with clients who we kind of feel if we take out a lot of animal proteins, not every day, if we cut back on those things, then we'll be healthier. But I'm working with unhealthy vegans now. But I sometimes see posts where they're like, no Buddha bowls here, and I was like, I like a Buddha bowl, a bit of brown rice, veg, tofu, like
why not?
that's my go-to.
Yeah.
But people want their kind of vegan fish and chips, or still kind of keeping those home comforts. So it's
vegan
an interesting
milkshakes. Yeah. Oreos are vegan, and so are French fries. So you know what? Vegans get down too.
They do, they do, and it's funny. It's
doesn't
really,
mean
really
that
funny.
you're healthy.
No, and I think that's it, But I suppose I've gone off topic of
No.
me.
It's okay. Let's go back to you. And so let's start this off. What is your story?
Okay, so I suppose how I got into health, my life probably changed dramatically in my late teens, early 20s. I'm in my early 30s now. But basically there was a diagnosis in the family. My father got diagnosed with motor neuron disease, which is also known as ALS in the US. So if anyone knows the ice bucket challenge, that's what kind of they were trying to create awareness for, not just seeing Justin Timberlake chuck a bucket of ice over him. Hopefully he did donate. So for me, I was always a kid who questioned why, why? Like most kids, we're curious. And I was probably about 18 at the time, and you basically get given 0 to 5 years to live. There's nothing that you can do. And for people who don't know about motor neuron disease, it's a deterioration of the nervous system. So it basically breaks down every communication in your body. So moving your arms as you would pick up a cup, the brain is a slow reaction. It slows everything down. So, between 0 to 5 years, you'll probably find yourself not being able to walk, slowing down, not being able to eat, to chew, all the things that we take for granted, like the tongue is one of the most, powerful muscle in the body. So when that slows down, we can't eat, we can't chew. So I saw this happening in my family home, and I remember, doctors, well, we can't do anything, that's it. And I was like, well, why? What can we do? And this was kind of my...
You're like, no, we can do something.
Yeah, and I was like, I don't know how to, and it was definitely an emotional journey, and still, I still find myself getting really upset with, dealing with these things that we do through life. But that was kind of my first introduction to... what can I do? What can I do? Can I change anything? Can I even change the way I eat if maybe I could prevent this for my kids going through this in the future? It's definitely not a condition where you can be cured, but can you support it? And that's kind of always my mission now with how I work. 5 years later from studying, but this was about 12 years ago.
Oh, wow.
So that was my first introduction to alternative therapy. Although my family, my dad's from the Caribbean, so food is a big thing, lots of food, cooked with love, not really nutritionally connected, but we like to give, we like to keep you hearty and fed. So then it was kind of my own journey of learning about food and doing my own research, and didn't really have anyone that introduced me at home. But in my early 20s, I moved to Thailand. I lived in Thailand for 3 years. I was surrounded by amazing hippies who introduced me to alternative eating, something that I never looked at before. I could cook, I could make food taste good, but I didn't know how to make it healthy and taste good. So that was my first introduction to the food transition. I was already into Chinese medicine and herbs and what else we could do, but I didn't even think about the food. Didn't even think about it.
And I think that's such a common starting point, is thinking about like going straight to the medicine. And so if you don't go into the regular prescription medications, you kind of think, okay, alternative medicine. How about Chinese medicine? What else can you pull that's still going to be kind of a pill form or an herb form? So it's like a quick fix is what we're always looking for. No one's looking for a lifestyle change. They're looking for a quick fix. And like a magic pill or anything in that kind of like supplementation form. No one knows that you carry the power of health and well-being in your everyday choices. And it's like you should choose health every day, because those little choices compound for, later down the line where you see it in health. And I'm sure you see that too.
I've seen it in myself. I see it in my clients. I'm currently working with a client who was diagnosed with Crohn's 11 years ago. And Crohn's is an autoimmune disease that attacks the small intestine. So basically it becomes so inflamed that you end up having to cut it out. So one of my clients is 27. She's lost 30 centimeters of her small intestine.
Oh my God.
Like, that doesn't grow back, right?
Oh my God.
That's our absorption hub. That's where the last place it gets absorbed, sent onto the liver, then into the bloodstream. So our vitamins, our minerals, everything that our body needs, that's where we get it from. But she's been working with me for 5 weeks.
Okay.
And I now call myself, I need a hashtag of the emotional nutritionist, because whenever I get an update, I'm like happy tears. I cry with my clients. And I think one day I might get over this, but I definitely don't.
So what's her status right now? Like, what have you been able to support, or how have you been able to help her create a healthier lifestyle?
Yeah, so she texted me last week to say that she has had her first symptom-free day in over 11 years.
Oh, wow.
And this, for me, I was like, symptom-free? Like, talk me through this. And she's like, I don't have to worry. I've had a full day of not worrying. And the thing is, with the Crohn, she says she goes out, I don't know where I can eat. So basically you have a flare-up that's so bad, you're in bed, you've got so much pain that it may take 2-3 days to recover, or sometimes 2 to 3 weeks, and you may have to go to hospital because you're so inflamed.
Oh my goodness.
So it's taking control of her food, what she's putting into her body. And for me, I like to work intuitively to teach, how to eat intuitively. Like we had it when we're born, what we need to have. But in terms of marketing and everything else, that's a whole different talk. I won't go into marketing propaganda, but we end up reaching for the wrong foods, and then we lose that. We then don't know what feeds us and gives us energy.
Hi.
Sorry to interrupt you. Just want to know, because the room is booked. You have to set it up.
Okay.
If you like, we're downstairs the locker room.
Yeah.
Okay.
Just recording, so
Okay.
it's nice and quiet for you.
Okay. Sounds good.
You don't mind?
Yeah,
So,
no, let's do it. So there you have it. Part 1 of our interview with Simone VENNER. Go ahead and head over to part 2 as we continue our conversation on a foods for moods diet. You can go and figure out what that means if you go and listen. And we talk about a hangover remedy, not necessarily a cure, but a definite remedy. And yeah, thanks for being one of the first to follow suit. I hope you enjoyed this show. And like, subscribe, tell a friend, and until next time, thanks for tuning in.